The MLB trade line is one of the most exciting times in baseball. Names like Scherzer, Hader, and Snell are all set to be on new rosters come August 1st, and I'm here to give you my predictions on where all of them are headed. If you're interested in my perspective on how each team should approach the MLB deadline, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. Starting with a banger, I had the Philadelphia Phillies making a trade for Josh Hader. The offseason trade for Gregory Soto has not looked so favorable, and with the Phillies looking to play in the wild card, they really cannot afford to be losing games late. Next on the list, I have Tim Anderson making the move to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Both middle infield spots for the Dodgers have not been producing at a high clip, and if there's anyone who can turn around Tim Anderson, it's the Dodgers. Another shortstop moving out of town is Paul DeJong to the Seattle Mariners. DeJong would probably have to move to second base with J.P. Crawford having a fantastic season, and hopefully that could give them some consistency at the position. The second Cardinal to be finding a new home will be Jordan Hicks to the Tampa Bay Rays. This just feels too much like a Rays move to not happen. Continuing the Cardinals' fire sale, I have the Diamondbacks grabbing Jack Flaherty. I think the D-backs will miss out on the top starters they need and have to go to a solid fallback option of Flaherty. Moving across the division, I had the Cubs trading Yan Gomes to the Miami Marlins. I also had the Marlins grabbing Matt Duffy from the Royals, both huge positions of need for the Marlins to fill. Moving back to the NL Central, I have the Brewers grabbing Enrique Hernandez from the Boston Red Sox. The Brewers should be in on one of these big-name middle infielders, but I have them missing out and having to grab Hernandez. Next up is the division rival Cincinnati Reds, going all in and grabbing cancer survivor Liam Hendriks, who would be a huge boost to the bullpen that has already found a good bit of success this year. Another pitcher I have leaving the White Sox is Lucas Giolito to the Houston Astros. Giolito is going to be a top arm at the deadline, and who better than the Astros to finally unlock that next level to his game that we've been waiting to see. The Astros have been in search of a replacement to Verlander and have found mixed results. Getting a solidified guy in the rotation would be great down the stretch. A pitcher who's enjoying a nice season is Kyle Finnegan, who I have making the move to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are great at turning guys like this into elite pitchers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again. Another reliever on the move is Seth Lugo to the Phillies. The Phillies' lack of depth in the rotation needs to be supplemented somewhere, and getting a hybrid starter/reliever would be great to eat up some innings. Flipping to the American League side of the East, I had the Baltimore Orioles grabbing Jurickson Profar from the Colorado Rockies. Another backup level outfielder on the move is Jake Marisnick to the Guardians, because why not? Heading to the Yankees is CJ Cron to the Colorado Rockies. Not much to say here, just need some more consistent bats in that lineup or coming out the bench. Another first baseman switching team, I have Ji-Man Choi joining the Philadelphia Phillies. Continuing the train of first basemen, I have Carlos Santana returning to Cleveland. He isn't the star that the franchise once known, but he comes to play good defense and hits lefties well. A team in the AL Central I have losing a familiar face is the Detroit Tigers and Michael Lorenzen. I have Lorenzen making his way to Tampa. They don't necessarily need him, but he has a good spin rate, and I'm sure the Rays will turn him into the next superstar or something. For the next player, I have an interdivisional trade with Yohan Moncada making his way to the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are in search of a few bats at the moment and might find a player at a discount because he has not played in some time. The 20th player on the list is moving to the desert and Paul Blackburn. Blackburn has not been the same pitcher since his rookie year, but would still offer the Diamondbacks a consistent option in the bullpen if they miss out on some of the top options available. Another team having to fill a position of need with a lesser option is the Milwaukee Brewers grabbing Tommy Pham from the New York Mets. To be fair, Pham is having his best season since 2018, so maybe this could be a super underrated pickup for the Brewers. Another team in search of some bats is the San Francisco Giants, and they're going to try and grab a power bat and any fucking burgers is up and back. Going back to Minnesota, I have them addressing some of their issues in the outfield by grabbing Adam Duvall from the Boston Red Sox. The outfielders for the Twins have not been producing at a high enough clip, and Duvall would be a nice jolt of energy. A team adding to a strength of theirs is the Milwaukee Brewers grabbing Lance Lynn from the Chicago Cubs. Apart from the clear reasons why Lance Lynn should be a Brewer, I think it is worthwhile to take a flyer on the pitcher. The Brewers have a great 1-2 punch once Woodruff returns, so there isn't much pressure for the situation to work. And if it does, you have an excellent number 3 starter. The next pitcher switching hands is the ageless wonder Rich Hill making his way to the desert. This is the second pitcher I have making their way to Arizona, and it's just more to eat some innings. Similar to Lance Lynn, I have the Toronto Blue Jays finding their next pitcher from an obvious source in James Paxton. I don't care if it's an interdivisional trade. His name is Big Maple. Next, I had the Marlins grabbing Luis Garcia from the San Diego Padres. Back up north, I had the Blue Jays grabbing Justin Lawrence from the Colorado Rockies, an underrated grab who is pitching extremely well even in Colorado. One of the big name starters is going to head to Baltimore, and I think it will be Jordan Montgomery. One of the few bright spots for the Cardinals should not demand quite as much as some of the other big name pitchers on the market, but I would argue a move like this doesn't quite move the needle for the Orioles like they need to for that big game pedigree. Another ageless wonder still getting it done at age 38 is David Robertson of the New York Mets. I have him going to Seattle. The Mariners would only be adding to one of the most underrated bullpens in baseball. Joining Robertson in Seattle is Cody Bellinger of the Chicago Cubs. The Mariners would be doing good to grab someone to split time with Ty France at first base, and Bellinger offers a lot of flexibility in the outfield. Another great feel-good story I have for this trade deadline is Carlos Carrasco returning to Cleveland. While I would love to sit here and say this trade is going to be the move that gets the Guardians over the hump, it's probably not, but it's a good feel-good story. Another pitcher grabbed by the Baltimore Orioles is Scott Barlow of the Kansas City Royals. Again, not a move that moves the needle too much, but it would make the team better and wouldn't be at the highest price point. Moving to the National League side of the East, we have an interdivisional trade of Jeimer Candelario from the Nationals to the Phillies. This move makes too much sense for the Phillies not to entertain it. They need a corner infielder that is a consistent bat, and Candelario is having a great year. Another player heading to Milwaukee is breakout star for the Oakland Athletics, Brent Rooker. Rooker could offer the team a lot of value, rather than be at first base platooning with Tellez or in the outfield to get a more consistent bat. A player that is leaving the NL Central is Chris Stratton from the St. Louis Cardinals. I have him joining the Texas Rangers. However, joining the NL Central is a star pitcher from the San Diego Padres, Blake Snell. If the Reds are planning to go all in, they could use a true number one. Not to say a guy like Hunter Green won't get there, but they need to get a bona fide star at the position. Probably the biggest pitcher not named Shohei Ohtani is Max Scherzer of the New York Mets. I have the aging pitcher making his way to Texas and essentially will act as the replacement for Jacob deGrom this season. The current rumor is back to Arizona, but I just can't see them going in hard enough to get a piece like Scherzer. The 40th player on the list is Randall Grichuk, and I have him moving to the San Francisco Giants. An underrated player who could be on the move is Lane Thomas of the Washington Nationals, and I have him making the move to New York. The Yankees could use a significant bat in the lineup, and the fact he can play the outfield in Judge's absence can make it all the better. And to round out the list, let's have Jens Bonnie Grandal making his way to Houston to be the catcher for the remainder of the season. And that wraps it up for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your predictions for the upcoming trade deadline down below. And as always, have a great day.